Welcome to What's Treading with Tire Review. I'm Maddie Weiner, and on today's podcast, I'm joined by Jamie Ward, President and CEO of Tire Discounters, and Dave Crawford, a tire industry veteran and Director of Franchise Development for the company. Gentlemen, welcome to the show.
Glad to be here.
Thanks. Glad to be here.
Thank you both. So I know Tire Discounters is growing its footprint exponentially. And recently the company announced the details of its new franchise program, which Dave, I know you're spearheading. Can you both explain what market factors influence the launch of this program for Tire Discounters?
Sure. Well, as everyone sees, obviously the tire industry has been a very fragmented industry for quite some time. And, with all of the past COVID issues and concerns, a lot of smaller retailers, smaller businesses, really in all industries, unfortunately, had to pay some prices. It was a very difficult time. And, through that, there's a lot of lessons learned. And one of the things that we're hearing from small business owners is, they're wore out, they're tired. That was a very, very difficult time in their business history. And quite frankly, a lot of them are ready just to retire and enjoy life. And for us, we've identified that a lot of folks don't have a really good succession plan, and they're really not prepared to make those, changes. So, we got together as a team and realized, we're growing, we're having just a great time going into new markets. We're highly successful, thankfully, very, very, very blessed to be as successful as we are. We have a good business plan where we take care of our customers and our employees as our primary mission. And a lot of larger chains, unfortunately, kind of gravitate away from that. It's what happens, I guess, when you get too large. But for us, we know that we share the same values as a lot of these smaller independent dealers, since we're a family-owned and operated business ourselves. We put a plan together to help, and so far that plan's been really, really well received, and we're able to allow some small business owners the freedom to move on and enjoy their lives, and really put together a great winning formula for them as well as their employees and customers.
Yeah, no, and that's great to hear. Now, I know I actually visited your new headquarters in downtown Cincinnati not too long ago, and we had a conversation about the franchise program. And with that franchise program, if a dealer wants to partner with Tire Discounters, they have a couple options. One is to sell both the real estate and the business to Tire Discounters, just the business, or become a franchise, adding Tire Discounters logo and branding to their stores. So I'm curious, what was the impetus behind these three options, and which one has proven to be like the most popular for you all?
It's Jamie touched on this a little bit before about succession planning. I think part of that falls in about what the future is. And we give the dealer the option of franchising with us for a lot of reasons. And we can dig into those reasons. But they get to a point in their life is that, what do I do with my business? I can sell the whole business and the real estate and go, and I just want to fully retire. Or, I can sell the business, I can keep the real estate, and that way I have a longer stream that may give me some tax advantages and give me a longer runway in, I guess, ongoing revenue for several years to come with a Class A company like Tire Discounters is going to come in and lease that building back and run the business from them. But the franchising piece specifically, I think, is that there's several options. And the first that is a traditional franchise model is a ground up. I think we're getting a lot of people right now that are coming out of the last 18 months with COVID that just want to be their own boss. I'm tired of working for a company. I'm not sure where the future is going to be. I don't like the way it's restructured, whatever it might be. And I want to take control of my future. So we give that option where we can help them from a ground up operation, from site development to building it, all the way to leasing it back to them if you want, and put them into business and teach them how to operate a store, just like we teach our store managers how to be very effective in what we do. They have another option as well, and the service people that are predominantly in the service aspect of the business. they sell a few tires, and there's a lot of them out there. They're very proficient at what they do in the service business, but it creates another revenue stream for them by adding tires. We certainly know the tire business. Our model is weighted more to the tire segment than the service segment. We have both those pieces in there. But if you take somebody that's heavily into service and we add their tires on top of that, we can dramatically change their business model, keep all the services there, and add all these additional revenues that come into them as well at the same time. They may have a son or daughter, and they want them to take over the business and run it. Well, maybe I've been running business for years, and I don't want them to pick up all my bad habits, learn my good stuff, but I want them to learn from the pros, the guys that really know how to do it, that do it well with the stores and know the operational efficiencies, and it can help them learn effectively so they can take a business that's out there now, the legacy that they built, and build that to another level and do it very effectively. I want to add locations. I don't have the capital to do it. We certainly have that option to do that. I have one store today, and I want to grow to 2 or 3 or 4, but I don't know how to do it. Well, we've gone from one store years ago with Chip, to over 140 today. So we can help the dealer do that, again, by growing, adding stores, and helping them be proficient in moving the business forward with that whole piece. So there's several options that are out there right now, and part of it may be I'm not quite ready to retire. Maybe I'm just on that threshold. I'm starting to think about it, and I'm not quite ready to step away. Maybe what we do, I know Tire Discounters is in the area. They're expanding to my market. Well, if I franchise with Tire Discounters today, guess what? When I am ready to sell a couple of years, 2, 3, 4 down the road, who do I have as my partner behind me that says, guys, I'm ready? And we step in and take the business over from at that point in time and give them a runway to get out. And meanwhile, while we're doing that, we help grow the business. So those are the options that we've looked at and how we roll this whole program out.
Dave, you have an extensive background in automotive franchising. So from your point of view, I'm curious, how has the franchise model changed over the years, and how has what shops want out of a franchise partnership changed?
Good question. I think as things start to progress, if you go back 20 some years ago and look at the models back then, stuff like programs like a nationwide warranty were big pieces, and credit card was big pieces. But as the business has evolved and gotten tougher, I think dealers are expecting more and more and more. And a dealer told me many years ago that I went in business for myself, but not to be by myself. And I thought that was so important. I've used that line for many, many years when I talk to other dealers, is that I think there's power in being part of a group. I run into a problem. I have an issue with an employee. I want to talk about how to handle financial pieces, how to handle growth, how to handle tax situations, whatever it might be, or pricing. Well, if I'm part of a group, I can pick up the phone and call one of my dealers, one of the dealers that are part of the group, and have a conversation with them. And that happens, very easily, that they form friendships and bonds, and they can talk to each other openly about questions like that. But additionally to that, I think, Maddie, is that they're looking for more today than what they used to. Information is huge for them. We have a standard point of sale system that all the dealers will go under. Instead of using several different financial systems or point of sale systems and then trying to blend all that data together and present it back out to the dealers so they can benchmark against themselves and their peers, is very difficult to do when it's reporting in so many different ways. Our reporting, we can report our dealers against our stores, and we can benchmark them side by side so they can see how that works. And that's very important. They want acquisition price. They want help with training. And I think, you put all that aside and say, okay, fine, these are key operational pieces. And over and above, Jamie touched on it a little bit ago, is that they're working in it and not on it. Well, how do you take your business to another level, especially with marketing side as well? If I have to work all day long and the business is out there, I'm running short on employees right now, which many of them are, with coming out of where we are today and everything else, running short on employees. So I'm working in it. How do I plan a marketing campaign or an advertising piece that's going to effectively draw new customers into my business? Do I even know what direction to go? I mean, I grew up many, many years ago when newspaper was big and radio was big and you still had yellow pages. Now today everything is digital. So many of the business owners out there today are in that same box, if you will, is that they've grown up in that same era, but they don't understand the digital age. Well, we're very, very proficient at this. We have world-class marketing, in my opinion. We really do a great job. And we can bring all that to the party and take that off the dealer's shoulders and say, guess what? You focus on running the business, the operational elements are out there. We provide the marketing that's going to drive customers into your door on a regular basis. And that's huge for a dealer. It really is, that we can do that over and above what they have today. And I think that's what they're looking for today, Maddie, more than ever, is they're looking for what's the next thing? I want to take it to another level. And we provided another level. The guts of our program is, yes, we're in the franchise business, but look at what's driving the franchise, the horsepower behind it. 140 plus retail chain. Our focus every day when we get up is 100% retail. We're not in the wholesale business. We sell tires, we sell service to retail customers. And that's huge, I think. That's the motor and that's the power of the Army, if you will, that's behind everything we do. And that's where we can really bring power to a dealer and give them another level that they have not been used to in the past.
I'm curious, how do you both feel that the pandemic has influenced M&A activity in the tire industry? I guess, first off, do you think it has influenced M&A activity in the tire industry? And if so, how?
From what I see when I talk to dealers, I think business is tougher today than it has been in the past. And you fuel that by a lack of good quality people. I talked to a dealer yesterday, as a matter of fact, and in the conversation, part of it was he feels that the owners, in a lot of cases, no longer in control. The employees are in control and running a small business. They know they're in demand. They know you're running short. And it's like, guess what? I want tomorrow off. I'm going to take tomorrow off. And I think dealers, to a great degree, it's gotten tougher to do that than what it has in the past. And a lot of them are looking at it and saying, do I really want to continue with this? And I think that's driving a lot of that. Now, has that been spawned out of the pandemic? Possibly, because that drove a lot of where we are today. But that may be the original piece that drove it, if you will. So that's what I'm finding out in the field.
Yeah, I would add to that, the inflationary measures that have spiraled out of control post-COVID, the supply chain disruption that's happening, all of that is causing everybody to raise prices on equipment, raise prices on you name it. Every single piece of our business is going up. Oil prices are at $70 a barrel and slated for $100 a barrel. All of that, all these retailers have a decision to make: absorb the price increases or pass them on. And unfortunately, the competitive environment is such that they have to absorb these cost increases, which further compresses their margin, right? This is causing a lot of folks to say, you know what, this is too much. Our wages are going up. We can't hire great people. Our costs are going up. I'm not even going to make a profit, and I'm doing all this work, right? And at the end of the day, they're saying the juice just simply isn't worth the squeeze any longer. And I think that's playing a huge part of this, as well as the political climate. There's a lot of discussions right now on capital gains going up at the end of this year. So if capital gains dramatically increase, as everybody predicts next year, right now is the time, if you're going to make a decision, to do so. It's still early in the game. We're just halfway through the year. There's plenty of time for operators to make these decisions and have these conversations. And they realize that if they don't do it now, it's going to cost them dearly over the next several years. Yeah,
for sure. And you mentioned the supply chain pressures. We've had a couple podcasts on that. And yeah, it's a crazy time with supply shortages and shipping and all that.
It's not getting better, Maddie. It's getting worse. And unfortunately, this inflation, everyone keeps calling it transitory, that it's going to be a temporary thing. But I think even those experts, of all experts, are changing their opinion on that.
Well, very interesting. Well, gentlemen, again, I want to thank you for coming on the podcast today. I really appreciate your time. And if people want to learn more about working with tire discounters, where can they go, and who can they contact?
Well, they contact me directly if you want. I think I'm a good point person. I can channel it in-house to the right person. If we're looking at an acquisition, I gather additional information from somebody and channel that into Kevin Burke, who's our CFO. But I think I would get a hold of me directly as a first blush, and then I can steer it where it has to be in the industry. And the franchise piece, of course, get a hold of me personally on franchise as well. Love to talk to them.
Okay, yeah, we can put your email in our description for the podcast, so that would be
That would
great.
be perfect, yeah.
Awesome. Well, gentlemen, again, thanks so much for your time. I really appreciate it. And thanks again for being on What's Treading with Tire Review.
It was fun. We'll
Thanks,
talk soon.
Maddie.
Thanks.
Take care.